You know that feeling when you're talking to an AI and it's just so generic? Like you're talking to a complete stranger who has no idea who you are or what you need. Yeah, it's frustrating. Well, today, we're going to change all that. We are going to break down exactly how you can go from being just a casual AI user to being in the top 1%, using some killer hacks from entrepreneur Dan Martell.
And look, this is the main idea right here. Getting ahead isn't about some super complex secret code. It all boils down to one thing: communication. Seriously, the reason most people get kind of meh results from AI is because they're asking kind of meh questions. We're about to fix that for you, for good.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what's going wrong. Then, we'll build up step by step. We'll give the AI your personal context, teach it how to behave, get your workflow organized, and then, the best part, automate your expertise so it just becomes a powerful new habit you don't even have to think about.
Okay, let's dive right into part one: why your prompts are probably failing. Look, if your AI sounds like a complete stranger, it's because, well, you haven't introduced yourself. Think about it, right? You wouldn't walk up to some random person and ask for super personal career advice. Of course not. The exact same logic applies here.
It all comes down to this: your outputs suck because your prompts suck. It's that classic saying, garbage in, garbage out. The quality of what the AI gives you is a direct reflection of the quality of what you give it. You can't just throw a jumble of words at it and expect a masterpiece. It's really that simple.
So, the big question is, how do we give it that better input? Well, it all starts with giving the AI some real, deep, personal context about you. And the key to unlocking all of this is a powerful tool called the master prompt.
Okay, so what is a master prompt? Think of it like this. It's kind of like that super detailed profile you have with a great travel agent. You tell them one time that you always want an aisle seat and only fly in the morning, and boom, they remember it forever. The master prompt does the exact same thing for the AI. It teaches it who you are, your job, your company, what you care about, so every single conversation starts from a place of already knowing you.
And the best part, you don't have to pay some expert a ton of money to build this for you. Nope, you can actually get the AI to help you create it. Just follow these simple steps. First, ask the AI to interview you about your job, your company, your values. Spend, 30, 45 minutes really giving it some good, detailed answers. Then, just ask it to pull all your answers together into a formal master prompt. Save that thing, and you've got this perfect personal context file you can upload to any new chat you start. All right, so now the AI knows who you are. That's huge. But that's really only half the battle. The next step is to teach it how you want it to behave. And this brings us to our next awesome tool, the system prompt.
Let's make this super clear, because it's important not to mix these two up. The master prompt, that's all about who you are. It's your identity. But the system prompt, that's the job description. That's where you tell the AI how to behave for a very specific task. The exact tone you want, the structure, the format, all of it. So one is about you, the other is about the job. Simple as that.
Now, you want to know the real pro move? The secret sauce? Don't even try to write a perfect system prompt from scratch. That's a waste of time. Instead, you're going to use a loop. Start by getting a first draft from the AI. Then go back and forth, refining it, until it is absolutely perfect. And then, and this is the magic part, you ask the AI, hey, can you write me the system prompt that would have created this final version from the very beginning? Boom! The AI literally builds your own reusable, high-value prompt for you. This is a total game changer. Okay, so at this point, you've got your context sorted out with the master prompt and your instructions nailed with system prompts. But what happens when things start getting more complex? You need to stay organized, right? And that's where projects and canvases come into play.
The easiest way to think about a project is like a dedicated room in your office for one specific thing. Let's say you're planning a trip to Cabo. Everything related to that trip, all the chats, all the files, all the research, it all lives inside that one Cabo project room. This keeps all the context siloed and super clear, which means the AI's answers are going to be way more focused and way more powerful.
Okay, but tell me if this sounds familiar. You get a pretty good response from the AI, and you just want one tiny little change. You ask it, hey, can you just make that one part a little funnier? And what does it do? It rewrites the entire thing from scratch, and you lose all the good stuff you liked. It is so frustrating.
Well, this is where the Canvas feature is an absolute lifesaver. It basically turns the AI's output into a live document, just like a Google Doc.
So you can go in there yourself and tweak a single word or edit one sentence without the AI freaking out and rewriting everything. It gives you surgical control. The motto here is refine, don't restart.
All right, we've covered context, we've covered behavior, we've covered organization. Now it's time for the final level, true automation. This is where we take all your best workflows and turn them into a literal army of personal AI assistants.
So what are these assistants? They're called custom GPTs. And really, they're just your best system prompts all wrapped up into these neat, reusable little apps. Think of them as your personal AI minions. Each one is trained to do one specific thing, and to do it perfectly every single time. And what's really cool is you can share them with your team so everyone can instantly use your best processes without any training.
So, what's the end goal of all this? It's about getting to a point of radical efficiency. The big idea is to have the AI do about 92% of the work, all the heavy lifting, the repetitive stuff. That leaves you, the human, to focus on that critical 8%. That's the strategy, the creativity, the final human touch that only you can bring to the table.
So let's just do a super quick recap of the foundational pieces here. You've got your master prompt. That's your personal profile. It tells the AI who you are. Then you have your system prompt. That's the job description, telling the AI how to do a specific task. Nailing these two concepts is the absolute bedrock of getting amazing results.
Okay, look, knowing all this stuff is fantastic, but it's just theory, right? Knowledge isn't really power until you put it into practice. So the real million-dollar question is, how do we make all this an actual automatic part of your daily life?
The secret is a simple technique called habit stacking. All you do is find a habit you already do every single day without even thinking about it, like making your morning coffee. Then you just stack a new tiny AI habit right on top of it. So while your coffee is brewing, you spend just a couple of minutes creating or tweaking one of your prompts. I know it sounds almost too small to matter, but when you do that consistently day after day, that is how you build a skill that becomes completely unbreakable.
So there you have it. That's the full blueprint. We've gone from just introducing yourself to the AI all the way to building a whole army of automated helpers. You have everything you need. So the only question left is the big one, right there on the screen. What's the very first repeatable task you're going to automate?